The thing about buy-in is that it needs to be reciprocated. The Valley on Saturday wasn't activated, it was complacent. We all came into our Saturday complacently believing that this team would dominate a bottom feeder SEC school. Boy, were we in for a rude awakening. And still to this day, we are still rude awakened. The mainstream fan base of Arizona State still sulking over the worst defensive play call to be called since Texas. The coaching staff still sulking over the fact that it was just a situational outcome, the beauty of college sports and playing in hostile atmospheres. The players still rude awakened from the terrible first half and the abysmal performance they put out in terms of not even coming close to meeting expectations, but settling for less. What those stat boards were saying in the first half and everything that was said narratives to this day and to Saturday from last Saturday, throw it out the window. This team's going 11-1. This is Travanci, another CFB breakdown, and I am going to convey why Arizona State will go 11-1 this year. Why are we winning out the rest of the season? I'm going to give you a little bit of clues, some context clues on the offensive side of the ball, and a little bit of keys to the game for the defense. But really, I will never waver off this. My buy-in is fully reciprocated. Arizona State needed this loss to Mississippi State. I am going to reiterate my favorite quote that was said by Kenny Dillingham in his most recent conference. This is the best thing that could ever happen to us. Get this team punched in the mouth because they are better than what everyone else is expecting to see. Guys, I'm so excited to see what Arizona State can do against Texas State. But more importantly, I want to focus on this game, or not on this game, but this video, more on the trajectory of how I believe this season will go. I fully believe this team will win out. Okay? So let's give you a little bit of, here's some things we could improve on in order to go and win out. So on the offensive side of the ball, there's a lot, right? We expanded on it in the post game against Mississippi State, but a lot of game plan things, a lot of positional coaching things. So we'll go straight into it. So in order for us to go 11-1, running backs need to be north-south runners. Fortunately, we lost our favorite running back in Sip Brown on Saturday in front of his hometown. I'm so sorry, man. But Sip is undoubtedly a top 10 Big 12 runner in my eyes. He looked amazing and poised against NAU, and I am so excited to see what the trajectory of his season will play out to be. But if he is a little bit injured, or if he is getting bitten by the injury apple throughout the season, I still like this running back room. Raleek Brown and Kanye Udo, these guys need to be north-south runners in order for us to win. In the first half, we saw a lot of side-to-side movement that was unnecessary. These Mississippi State front seven D linemen and middle linebackers were actually feeding off of this play style and playing more aggressively and downhill because our running backs weren't just putting their helmet down and moving forward. They were shifting and trying to make moves. Now what we saw in the second half was a lot more north-south running, and I can tell Coach Iguano put and relayed that message for this running back group. And we saw a much better running game in the second half. We actually got to see a little bit more involvement with Sam Leavitt's legs, which I am a huge advocate for, especially in the college system. So north-south running, being more disciplined runners, I think that's a huge component to going 11-1, especially winning out in this Big 12 runner-friendly division. Now, another thing, this is on Marcus Arroyo, and this is on the game plan made with him and Kenny Dillingham. We need to create favorable game plans for Sam Leavitt early in the game. What I am alluding to with favorable is getting him into a rhythm, creating a game plan that gives him some really good looks and easy looks for him to, just get the ball into our playmakers' hands and their yak to go on with the rest. What I loved a lot about our team last year was our usage of our tight ends. We did some really unique tight end screens, and of course, what I also loved was what we did with Scatterboo. What I want to see more is I want to see more of these tight end screens, some more running back featured routes rather than HB screens that are predictable. I want to see movement behind the line of scrimmage that actually translates into getting or creating separation for these position players. How can we get them open, or how can we give them a route tree that will give them separation, open early, get them the ball, get them going? Because we will begin to see some double teaming on Jordan Tyson, and it is on the game plan made by the coaches, Marcus Arroyo and KD, to get these other receivers featured, to get these tight ends featured. Not featured in the running game through blocking, which I know Hines Ward is a huge advocate for, and so am I, but featured in explosives with the potential to make explosives. What we saw a lot in the first half was Sam Leavitt overthrowing his players, indecisive reads, overthrowing anything that was intermediate. This is a product of not being in a rhythm. And he, in Starkville, Mississippi, and that entire performance will just translate into other hostile Big 12 arenas, because if we don't get our quarterback into a rhythm, you cannot expect him to flip a 180 and win the game just on the extensive plays that he keeps on doing. He's a great quarterback when he's extending the plays, but that is not your bread and butter. That is a terrible identity to fall under. It is so unstable. It is going to put you in a lot of playing from behind situations, and you don't want that kind of tension on this young team's shoulders. All right? This is a young team. I know they have a lot of experience on the O-line. I know they have JT, who's an older guy who's going to be a bona fide first-round pick. But Leavitt is still young. This running back room is still young. This entire receiving core outside of JT, still young. A lot of these guys are bridge players from other schools that came over here, notably looking for an opportunity, but weren't really recognized or weren't getting the right kind of exposure in their previous schools. So we're not going to do that to them here, right? No. We got to get these guys moving. I want to see Jalen. I want to see Jaron. I want to see some more stuff behind the line of scrimmage that helps and turns into creating separation for these skill players. So those are two key aspects of the offense. And I would say the third aspect, more or less, is playing better receiver-wise, playing better when we are extending the play. I want you guys to get open, to find soft pockets and zones. Anytime Sam Leavitt is outside of the pocket, you have to understand your DBs are glued onto you. That is their only agenda. So it is on you to beat them, get behind them, and get some sort of separation when Sam Leavitt is outside of the pocket and he needs an easier throw to make. So those are three really key components to a successful season. And if I do see these three components, I can equate all of these variables into equating into a successful Big 12 season. Now, defense-wise, man coverage, we need to learn how to pass on our man, all right? You are not obligated to cover the same man who is motioning more inside the line of scrimmage, now expecting you to follow him and cross the entire field just to guard your receiver. No, we are about passing on our guys so that we play strict, structured man coverage. Everyone is on the same page. If you have a motioned receiver coming into the outside of the hashes, that now becomes your man if you are the outside DB. This is what happened with Brett Love, unfortunately, in that last play. We're not going to highlight it anymore, but this is a huge thing because we like our man-to-man situations. Second thing, I really want to play more downhill on zone. Guys, we are not sinking our hips good enough to allow these little rinky-dinky curl flats to get before the hashes or before the chains and to keep their momentum and offensive progression going. We need to be able to mitigate all of these rhythm throws, and that's why when we do play quarters, we need to have those DBs hips dropped, ready to tackle and play downhill, because we do not need to allow any sort of screens this year. We do not need to allow any 5-yard hitches this year. If you get beat from a route, it better be from a one-on-one situation and them getting the best of you and getting separation. It will not be because you failed to play downhill and missed your man. This is all about playing downhill zone coverage, strict about it, and having the gap integrity for the D linemen to follow their stunts, follow their pass rush, hit home, and the DBs to stay glued on their guys or to at least be playing downhill so that quarterback is scared to make those kind of throws. Okay? Keeping these guys out of a rhythm is pretty much everything. And now, lastly, with defense, really, I don't have a lot to critique about the defense. I think this is a pro-style defense. I think they're really good. All I got to say is, hit home, get home, right? Sack that quarterback on these stunts. We are so talented at creating these alternative pressures, but it is all moot if you cannot get home. I need this team to get home this year. I need this D-line to get home. I need to see some more Prince Storball, Clayton Smith, Elijah O'Neal. I need to see that D-line. I can't see CJ Fight at being the only guy putting pressure up the middle. And if we are stopping the run, I want to see every single guy in the trenches right there. I want us playing hard on defense. I know we already do. And especially this. Man, those first quarter adjustments, I know they always hit like a truck. I know we always come out a little bit more colder and we get exposed with passing concepts. But guys, this is all just about playing disciplined, executing the game plan that they give you guys, and playing structured about it, following your assignment, being able to adapt assignments, and communicating it all. I want to see more from Zay this year. I've seen a little bit of missed tackles, and I'm not at any room of concern. He's a Sunday player. I want to see Rouser and Zay bring these guys together, and Keith and Javen bring those DBs together. I want this secondary solidified so that the front seven can feel fulfilled in themselves and just playing their role. All right, energy outlook. I'm perfectly fine. Katie's got this team locked in. Coach Kenny is so smart about living in the present. He's a present and well-meaning coach that is bought in as probably one of the better player coaches in the country. This guy has his program primed and ready to win out, and that is why I am even making this video, because it's possible. This isn't a pipe dream, guys. We can go 11-1. And that's why I'm reciprocating the buy-in. All right, so right now we're at 1-1. Let's go over the season, give you some soft narratives, a little bit of things to expand on in your head, and maybe you'll agree with me that we'll go 11-1. Texas State Bobcats rebound from a bad Mississippi State game. We're winning by 3 possessions. No doubt, guys. I love this for us. This is a great game. Will probably be the best game we play all season. At Baylor, another phenomenal game. This is going to be one where we see a little bit of Sawyer Robertson getting hot in the first half, but towards the early stages of the second quarter, we start playing amazing defense, and I see us closing out in Waco. I didn't initially in the season. I saw this as our one loss, and I still am fully bought into the Baylor system and what they have, but they already did it. They had Auburn, SMU, and us in their first 4 games, and all I needed them to do was steal one of them. And they did. They beat SMU. So they're going to be okay starting off with 2 losses, starting off 2-2. They'll be okay. They'll be able to rebound from that. They're still a good program. But they are an ASU tier right now. We are the testament of the Big 12. We represent this conference. We will represent them in the CFP. So there we go. We are at 3-1. Now give me versus TCU. Sonny Dykes coming in with Josh Hoover. I like this situation because this is a finesse type offense, and finesse types offense is don't perform well when they're in a pressure jam-packed Tempe, Arizona, Mountain America Stadium, where we're screaming at Josh Hoover to not make a turnover, and then of course we're reinforcing that That's it, that possibility of, creating turnovers. And so what usually happens is we play better defense than they do offense, and either both phases of the ball, we will outplay TCU, and I like us starting 4-1. I am not scared about this home game. If I were to be scared about any home game, it would probably be Tech. And even then, I'm not scared for Tech either. All right, now we're going to at Utah. Wow, we are 4-1 right now. Guys, going into Salt Lake City, this is going to be another game where it is defense needing to outplay the offense. I can fully see that happening. What I also see happening is I see this being a low-scoring game. I see Levitt, JT, in our running back room sneaking this one out, getting a late score. But of course, this is probably a blueprint for Utah to get up early in the first quarter, and then for us to kind of figure in, get our training wheels back in. This is probably a game like the Mississippi State game, but except we actually come out on the better outcome of this game. I like us going 5-1 now. Now we're hosting Texas Tech. If Texas Tech is undefeated by this point, I'm fully bought into this being a college game day. If this is a college game day, mark it down as an ASU win. If it's not a college game day, mark it out as an ASU win. What this team needs right now is another undefeated home record. We need to win out, and we need to do it in a fashion where we are giving our fans a treat. We're giving them the present of good football, of healthy football. And so we will show our fans in the Valley, since we're all activated, because right now, like, the buy-in is so 50-50. Some people are now speculating a lot of our season with a lot more negative connotation. Some people are already counting us out. Oh, man, I love it. It makes for a great story, guys, and this will be another great story. I really like Texas Tech coming into Tempe and us returning the favor the way they did with us in our Big 12 introduction last year, and we will show them what playing in Tempe, Arizona is like. Give me an undefeated home record. Give me a win over Texas Tech. I think we're 6-1 at this point. Yep. Okay, so now we're going and hosting Houston Cougars. Connor Wigman will be coming to Tucson. This is two games where we're hosting them home games, but let's be real here. All right, we need this. We need this sort of momentum to build up, okay? My whole thing is you have a bye week before the Utah game. So your whole bye week is getting prepared for that Salt Lake City ground and pound fest, okay? You get out of that game, that is the most validating win you could have all year, because you just got out of probably the most hostile atmosphere, except for Ames, Iowa later. But even then, we like our identity to outplay the Iowa State, but we'll get to that. So you feel so validated, you come in, all the adrenaline is pumping against Texas Tech, you come out of a great game, you're going to do it again. You're going to do it again. You're going to put more proof to paper and beat Houston at home. This isn't a trap game. It's a home game. We just beat Texas Tech last Saturday. Of course, everyone's coming back this Saturday. We just got to beat Houston. Let's get out of here. All right, guys? I love this for us. At this point, we are 7-1, beating Houston and Connor Wigman. I see at least 2 interceptions from Connor Wigman, or at least a fumble, 2 turnovers from the guy. I would say Baron Morton probably doesn't turn over it as much. I just think they'll probably struggle on their offensive progressions compared to how explosive we are. So give me ASU off these 2 back-to-back home games. These are really good home wins, and I like the placement of it because it's after a tough away game. And now we are going to Ames, Iowa. This is probably going to be the testament of the Big 12 if Iowa State continues to have their favorable record. They will, because they're not playing anyone top 25 until middle October. So my thing about Iowa State is they don't look any different than they did last year. If anything, they look a little bit worse. They still have the explosive run game. They still have the buy-in within their identity. Everyone loves Coach Campbell in Ames, and this is, of course, going to be very hostile because we just beat the Cyclones in the Big 12 championship. If we lose to Iowa State here, really wouldn't be the end of the world, because that would only mean 1 Big 12 loss. We're still primed to contend for the championship in the Big 12. But guys, I just don't see that happening. I don't see this Iowa State team being able to mitigate the explosives of Jordan Tyson, Sam Levitt, as well as stopping our run game because I didn't see anything different with their run defense. It's pretty much the same run defense. So, of course, I can look stupid saying this. I really can. You can prove me wrong, you Cyclones. But I didn't see anything different, and I've been watching your guys' games. Like, it's the same thing. And this team is much better than the team last year, ASU-wise. It really is. It might not look it right now, but this team is extremely better than last year. I promise you it is. I promise. So if we are playing the best version of ourselves football, we will go into Ames. We will sneak this one out. It will be a phenomenal game, but this is a game after Halloween. This is a Halloween weekend special. Man, if I was at this game, I would go crazy in Ames. But that is for a different universe, of course. So give me ASU coming out of this one. I love us now being 8-1. I'm giving you some real bulletin board material, guys. Like, this is for you. This is the Sun Devil bulletin board for going 11-1, and you can't give me any sort of rebuttal to it. You just can't. I'm giving you some really informed visuals. Like, I'm speculating it with the most realistic hat I could have on. We're going 11-1. All right, West Virginia, Rich Rodriguez, Nicky Markey all coming into Tempe. Belt to ass. Belt to ass. All right, sorry, guys. Sun Devils are sneaking that one out. That will probably be an ugly win. I gotta be real here. That feels like an ugly win. We'll probably be doing a lot of self-inflicting wounds in that one, but belt to ass. Belt to ass. All right, give me ASU in that one, and now that puts us at 9-1. Now we go into Boulder, playing in Folsom Field. Give me ASU to win in this one again, because Colorado, of course, they are a great team, a better team than last year, but I'd be generous to say that they could be ASU this year. Guys, ASU by this point of the season will know what is at stake. You win at Colorado, you are now in the Big 12 championship, and if you win at Colorado, you probably are a top 8 college football team. Guys, we have to prove themselves. We're going from unranked now, and I don't think we will get into the top 10 until we beat Colorado. I really don't. They'll put us at 11 when we beat Iowa State. They'll put us at 10 when we beat West Virginia. And now we got to be top 10 once we beat Colorado. We'll be put at 8 or something. So I think the highest ranking we do end up with will be 7 by the end of the season. I think we'll probably be 7 or 8. I don't see them ever thinking about us in the top 6. You biased Power 2 main media rankers. It's okay. No big deal. It's all about who wins in December and January. That's really all that matters. So you guys can put us wherever we want. I would prefer a favorable home game in the CFP bracket, but really it doesn't matter. If you win your conference, you're good. So I like us against in Folsom Field against the Buffaloes. Deion Sanders, really, you can't pull this one out because we are the NFL team. We do have the advantages on paper, but also spiritually. Like, we're bought in to this being the most professionally based football team in the country. Like, yes, you have the explosive Texas A&M, the best offense in the country. You have the best quarterback in, he's not my best, but in everyone else's best. You have the best quarterback in LSU, Garrett Nussmeier, and the best defense over there, right? And then, let's say, who else is really good this year? You got the best quarterback wide receiver duo and Jeremiah Smith and Julian Sayin in Ohio State. Oregon's looking phenomenal. You have the best college football team in Oregon. But who is the most professionally acclimated team? It has to be ASU. Oregon is always the explosive college team. They, year in and year out, they usually put out the best college football team in the country. But it's all the realness of winning in these games is about the buy-in, and that's why you had Ohio State beat Oregon last year after going undefeated. It didn't matter. It was all about what can you do in this present moment to play the best version of your football, and that's what Ohio State did against Oregon. They played the best version of themselves, and they outplayed Oregon in the Rose Bowl last year. So, of course, I could be talking about all these teams. I don't even know who the best team in the SEC is right now. We probably will know after this Saturday. But my whole thing is, this team right here is special. They're professionally acclimated. They can adapt to any kind of environment now that they've been punched in the mouth against Mississippi State. This game needed to happen, and I will continue to say this every week. This is an 11-1 team, and it's just screaming NFL tier. Like, I see a lot of Sunday players on this team. I love the coaching staff. I love our identity. I love the Valley's activation right now, and this is legit, guys. The Sun Devils are going to be 11-1. We will be contending for another college football playoff. We will be in the bracket. So I love reciprocating the buy-in, guys. That's an 11-1 season, and all the reasons I could offer you why. Thank you so much for another CFB Breakdown, hosted by Travanci, presented by the 480. Make sure to check out more of our college football content and to check out our pregame podcast show where we will be covering Texas State coming into Tempe on Saturday. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching.